Welcome to this episode of So You Miss Lab, where we make everything up. Today's lab is the Lab Skills Lab, Part 1. First, we're going to grab a 50 milliliter beaker and we're going to place it on the electronic balance. After placing the beaker on the electronic scale, we're going to hit the 0 button. This way, we won't have to worry about the mass of the beaker when we add our solid. Next, we get our solid, CuCl2.2H2O. We're looking to get about 2.50 to 3.50 grams. Please record the mass that you see on the scale in your data tables. Next, we're going to look at the solid with our extreme magnifying glass. Please record 3 properties of the solid in your data tables. Next, we're going to grab a 100 milliliter graduated cylinder and we're going to fill it up with between 20 and 30 milliliters of distilled water. Read the meniscus of the water at eye level. Record the actual volume in milliliters in your data tables. Be sure to estimate an extra digit beyond the smallest increment you see for proper sig figs. Next, we're going to grab another 50 milliliter beaker and we're going to put it again on the electronic balance. Next, tare the electronic balance. Then, pour in the distilled water from your graduated cylinder into the beaker. Record the mass that you see on the electronic balance in your data table. We will now look more closely at the distilled water. Record at least 3 properties in your data tables. Next, we're going to grab a 150 milliliter beaker and we're going to pour the water into that beaker. Next, we're going to add the solid to the water without stirring. Record your observations of the mixture in your data tables. Next, we're going to use a stirring rod to stir up the mixture. Keep stirring until all of the solid has dissolved. Record your observations of the final mixture in your data tables. Using a thermometer, take the temperature of the mixture. Record the temperature of the mixture in degrees Celsius. Be sure to estimate an extra digit beyond the smallest increment you see on the measuring device for proper sig figs. Next, we're going to zero our empty electronic balance and then place a small piece of aluminum foil on the electronic balance. Record the actual mass of the aluminum foil in your data tables. Next, we're going to take our aluminum foil, we're going to very loosely crumple it up. In a moment, we're going to be adding it to our mixture and recording any observations. Upon adding the ball of aluminum foil to the solution, we use a stirring rod to stir. Record your observations of the change in your data tables. Hey Giza, how does that beaker feel?
It's quite warm.
Write that down too. Hey, why don't we take a measurement? Let's use a thermometer and get a temperature.
Great idea.
Record the temperature in degrees Celsius in your data tables. Be sure to estimate an extra digit beyond the smallest increment you see on the measuring device for proper sig figs. Next, we're going to take a 250 milliliter beaker and we're going to zero it on the electronic balance. Then, we're going to pour our mixture into the 250 milliliter beaker. Record the mass of the final mixture in your data tables. Finally, we're going to dispose of our mixture by taking it to the water waste beaker in the fume hood. Using a water bottle, transfer all of the contents of your beaker to the wastewater beaker. When done, return to your lab station and wash all glassware with soap and water.
All right, guys, looks like we've made everything up. Now it's time to clean up.